Hi, I'm AprilPvd and this is Maja. I have been single for the last 4 years, sober for the last 6.5 months, and we've been living on a small budget for a year and a half. Join us as we celebrate living single, sober, and small. Right, Maja? AprilPvd, and today is Sunday, October 29th, 2023. You are with me on my oasis, my balcony, and I just wanted to talk a little bit. And Maja wants to play. Hi. Hi, pretty girl. You are my pretty girl. Yes, you are. Recently, I posted a video about shaving my head. I had these bald spots that I was adjusting my locks to cover, and I would cringe every time I bent over and they would show. I have had a really good relationship with my hair in my life. I went from, fighting my mother when I was little to not getting that hot pressed comb and not getting those ultra sheen lie relaxers in my hair. One time I got a jerry curl, but two things I didn't like. One thing I didn't like is putting chemicals in my hair. Oh, and the other thing I didn't like was sitting under someone else doing my hair. There's a certain submission to getting your hair done, and there's a certain energy involved with the person doing your hair. So it just resulted in me learning how to do my hair. And then I decided to lock. I remember I was living on Douglas Avenue, so it was in the late 90s. I think it was 97, 98, I want to say. And that I really liked. Well, before I locked, I went from I stopped the relaxers, but I would crimp with heat. So that was just as bad for my hair. And then I started braiding my hair and putting beads on it. I did that for several years. I had this like Egyptian Cleopatra thing going on with the clicking and everything. The worst thing was sometimes I would have these bead explosions. And let me do this real quick because this is why I have this on. I sit out here for a second and try to relax, and then I take my blood pressure. This is my sanctuary. This is the reason I pay 2,000, almost 2,000 a month for this place, so that I can have this balcony. The colors are changing. 117 over 72. The braids, I used to braid my hair in long braids and then put beads on it. Now, at one point, I had gotten extensions, but I didn't like having fake hair in my hair for several reasons. One is it was chemicals that I didn't know where they came from, and it felt like I wasn't being true to me. I don't knock anyone who does it. I understand that it's your choice and it's something you like to do, you know, then it's fine. But I just never liked it. I I thought it took away from what I perceived myself to be. So, for years I had what some people call loose locks. I just started locking my hair. I think I might have watched a couple of YouTube channels, but I didn't go to a loctician. So what ended up happening was my locks were thick on the bottom and thick on the top. I just had these, and it wasn't, it was what someone called messy. And that made me seek out getting tighter locks. And then I started dating someone who, and I don't know, why she was attracted to me and then wanted to change my hair. And I don't know for sure if this was the cause, but the when I started tight twisting my hair, that's when the bald spots started popping up. I went through a whole thing where I did everything I could. I tried different chemicals. I tried minoxidil, and that didn't feel comfortable. It just felt weird to put chemicals on your head that you couldn't put on your head if you were carrying a child. I mean, I understand that children are more prone to developing babies are more prone to birth defects or defects, but what about me? And it's going on my head. I decided at that point I cut everything off. This was I want to say 2018, and it started growing back. And when it grew back, which was interesting, was that it grew back. The bald spot started happening in a different place, and I let it grow back, and it was down to here again, which was nice. And I was arranging my hair, and I just did not like the way it looked when I flipped forward or I started wearing headbands. I went to a loctician to get my initial setup of my locks, and I asked her what could I do about the bald spot, and she was wearing a headband. So it's just a part of life. It's something called female pattern baldness. It happens to women as they age, particularly postmenopausal women. And it's just, I had seen a woman in once, I'd seen women, and older women who had bald spots, and I saw them struggling with it. And I said to myself, I don't think I said it out loud, that if I got bald spots, I would just shave my head. And I understand that women are innately attached to having hair. There's just something about whipping that hair around and combing the hair. I have never been that. I have never been attached to my hair. It was just a part of me, and it was more work. Oh my gosh. I remember dating someone who was very into the lining up, and you couldn't have beady beads at the back of your neck, and it was so much work to just to keep up with your hair, and then always having dogs and locks. I had dog hair in my locks. Thank gosh for bonnets. I learned to fall in love with bonnets. Now I don't need them. But let's fast forward to this thing. I decided to cut my hair. I said, okay, this is it. I can't do the lock overs anymore, positioning my locks. And at one point, I was wearing the headband, and the headband was just showing off where the bald spots were. There's just like was no comfortable way to wear it and position. And I always thought it was ironic that I had bald spots up here when I spent 30 something years, 40 years. Let's see, I started in 85, 50, 35, 38 years shaving the side of my head, and now I got bald spots up here. So I shaved it again, and then, like I said in a previous video, I noticed that as it was growing in, I was looking like one of my uncles, and I had what I called it's female pattern, but I had bald spots, and I just didn't like it. So I shaved it all off again. And then I got a comment. It says, don't shave your head. Go to a dermatologist and see if it can be helped. Okay. I thought about this. Now, I have tried different things on my head. Like I said, I did try minoxidil. I tried some things I got off of Amazon. There's a shop in Pawtucket that's supposed to have all these natural things, and I was putting these drops on my head every day, which this feels like the quickest way to get into my brain, and that made me feel uncomfortable. So I looked it up, and I'm gonna put some screenshots up here. A lot. It says, how can I tell if I have female pattern baldness and hair loss? This is go to a dermatologist. Well, I don't know. I will check to see if it goes under my plan. But after I read the rest of this, what causes female pattern baldness? It's hereditary. You inherit the genes from your mother, father, or both. Which is funny because they both have full heads of hair. But um, because it FPHL, it keeps calling it. It's more common after menopause. Hormones may also play a role. So I just think it's menopause. What can a dermatologist? How can a dermatologist treat this? It's mostly chemicals. None of it is like there's nothing nowhere where I looked where it said, "Oh, you may have this disorder and maybe you need vitamins." Nowhere it doesn't say that. It's just a part of life. It's nothing that's going to magically make my hair grow back and stop the spots. But I can take minoxidil, which I tried, which again is chemicals, and you can't take it if you're pregnant, which means it does something. And it says you may notice an increase in hair loss after you take it 2 to 8 weeks. The most common side effect is irritated scalp, dryness, itching, and redness. And it is possible to see hair growing in places other than your scalp, such as on your cheek and your forehead. When you put it on, it says you have to use gloves. Okay. And then if you stop applying the minoxidil, you lose its benefit. So this is something I would have to do for the rest of my life. Some hair may look thinner or thicker. Then there's other pills that you can take, medication. I don't want to do that. And you know what? Thank you, person who made that comment. I really appreciate your input. But I'm comfortable with this. In fact, I'm happier now. You know what the best part about shaving my head is? Getting under the shower now. I don't need a shower cap, and getting under the shower, feeling I have a rain shower and then I have a second thing on the side, which was the closest I could get to one of those spa showers with the multi shower heads. And it's wonderful because I can sit under the shower and feel the rain flow coming down, and it's really nice and I really enjoy it. So thank you. I am fine with this hairstyle. This is a choice. I did want to say, Robin Quivers, I think just recently talked about her struggle with uh, cancer, and she had to shave her head. Of course, we know Jada Pinkett, whatever her name is, Smith, shaves her head. I think it's okay. I think we can accept this as an alternative, and we don't have to take it as a negative. I was telling my sister about it, and she was saying, "I'm sorry." And I'm like, "It's nothing to be sorry. I have made the best choice for me, and I'm happy, and I'm okay with this. I love my head, and I love me, and that's the most important thing." This is AprilPvd, and I'm happy with my shaved head. And since I'm living single, I don't have to worry, oh man, I can't catch anybody because they're not going to like my look. It's just for me. And now that I'm living small, I don't have to spend money on hair products, on shampoos. So I love my balcony so much. And I don't know if you can follow me down here, but my garden down here is growing nicely. I started a moss garden and it seems to be taking, so life is good. I hope it's good for you.